Okay, Bismillah, Rahman Rahim, Alhamdulillah, Rasulillah, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Ahlan wa sahlan bikum. Thank you, my dear brothers and sisters who will show up here in the future, and those may show up in the chat. I know today is a working day in the Western world and the Muslim world as well. I had to, I brought up this subject as a part of a trilogy of Pan Africanism because of the essentially the problems that we face as Black people in Africa, outside Africa. We have a myriad of problems that we have to solve. But in particular, I'm focusing on the Black man and his family inside the United States because the health of the Black man everywhere cannot and will not be successful until the Black man in America is whole, refreshed, strengthened, and free. And you'll say probably I don't understand why, because the Black man in America is in a unique position of because he's been recipient of the high technology and also what has happened to him. And he has many influential leaders who can uplift the brothers in Africa as well, with the combination of Africa and America. I'm not discounting Europe, and I'm not discounting the brothers in the Caribbean and Canada and so forth and so on. But we have to be honest here that the Black people from America are more influential. They have more clout. They have more financial means. They have more technical means, ways and means. They have been around the Tubab and they know him very well. So I'm focusing on him, but he has many problems. As you see, as the title's specified here, the Black man and his family and the confusion to Pan-Africanism. There's a reason for why I'm saying what I'm saying. And there's a lot of it is quite obvious, those who live in America and those who studied the African Americans or the Africans born in America, you know their troubled history, and it's long, it's turbulent, it's bloody, it's full of oppression, and just sheer evilness. So it has had a toll on him and his family. So we'll look at this today because we talked days ago here last week about the first president of Africa. I talked about how what this person should be and so forth, and the role that the brothers and sisters from outside of Africa and even Africa can play in facilitating this. Salam alaikum, my dear sister Amina. And this is important because the African continent is turbulent as well. As you see, there's coups going on all over the place, as I talked about last week. All you have to do is turn on the TV, and one is happening in Ethiopia right now, which is very scary if you really think about it. And it's about ready to, salam alaikum, my dear brother, Saeed. They're about ready to topple a society, to turn it upside down. And I don't know how they're going. If they do end up toppling the government and the whole country, I don't know what's going to happen to Ethiopia, because it's because the people who are taking over, who want to take over, have no means to govern. They're fighting to gain independence in a region, but now they're not stuck at that. They want to take over the whole country. So you see the myriad of problems we have inside Africa as well. So we start here. I want to preface this again by saying that this is my ideas, my conjecture. I go by also what our ancestral brothers have said and our current brothers have said about situations like this. Also, I look at it from the Islamic point of view as well. And so I use all of these tools at my disposal to ask these questions and to ponder about the Black man and his family. So let's get at it. I will say this, we start off here. Black nationalism and its failure to uplift the Black man. Yeah, you heard me right. Black nationalism and its failure to uplift the Black man. This is true. Black nationalism has done little, very little in uplifting the African American, the African born in America. He is still in the same sorry state. For 400 years, yes, he's got a couple of things here and there, but as far as the infrastructure, we're still in the same way. Black nationalism has not produced much, and it has not uplifted the Black man. Now, I'm throwing these things out. I want you to ponder these things. You agree, you disagree, but think about what I'm saying. Number one, it failed due to lack of recognition of their African ancestors. Now, I'm going to say this again, and it's true. If you look at many Black nationalists, they have stressed basically their genre inside America, the hybrid culture that they want to develop inside of America, and they wanted to have partnerships to a degree with the Tuba and his government, but still live in harmony with the Tuba, and basically not recognizing his ancestor and his ancestral home. This has been a detriment to him. Now, in my personal opinion, and what I believe, especially as a Muslim, Subhanahu wa ta'ala has this as Africa for a reason. Africa was put on here first, and the Black man was put here on this earth first. In Arabic, we have the term, we talk about Africa, means the queen of heaven. Now, that's very interesting. This in Arabic, the queen of heaven. This is what we talk about, our homeland. But our Black nationalist brothers, to a fault, have forgotten about Africa and never even looked to Africa and never looked back to its ancestors to find out the ways to help them in their current situation in the land of the Tuba. And those who don't understand the word Tuba means European, white American. As I specified before, this word is used by Mende, the Fula. This is my ancestry. They use this term, and Dinka, a whole host of people use this word, Tuba. It's not slang. It's not the same equivalent as redneck. Nothing like that. It's not derogatory. It's actually term meaning talking about somebody that is white and foreigner as well. As Saeed probably can tell you that. Now, secondly, it failed because it urges continuation of relations with the white racist government and its programs. The Black nationalism was defeated and is still being defeated because of the second one here as well. A continuation of relations, they're trying to work out methods with a slaver who has enslaved the Black man for 400, 500 years. And so therefore, yes, they talk on one hand, and then on the other hand, they're still looking to get handouts and have a mithaq, excuse me, Arabic, what's the word of English I'm looking for here? A agreement to, between them, a memorandum of understanding between them, so to speak, and to be benevolent and to help and let them survive. This is basically what this is. And I give you a prime example of that. This is not off topic. Look what has happened in Haiti. Did you guys see what has happened today? The leader of the leader of this, they say gang. I don't know about these brothers. To be honest with you, they're not Muslimin. I don't know what's happening with them, but I know this thing. I saw in the Arab news today. This brother I could not believe when I heard this. He's asking the same Tuba who has caused strife in Haiti for hundreds and hundreds of years, has never forgave them for throwing the French out and defeating Napoleon. He's going back to them to ask them to assist him. You see the mentality of the brothers in the West? They talk good about nationalism, but yet and still they always run back to the Tuba. This is the detriment to Black nationalism. And this is why it defeats the brothers. Now, these guys here want to take over the country. They have already tried to make a mithaq with the same enemy who has overthrown governments there, who has kept them impoverished. When our brothers from Haiti come to the United States, they throw them back. You see what happened on the Mexican border, and he's trying to work out a mithaq with them. This is what I'm talking about. The failure of Black nationalism in the Western world. It's like this. They always turn back to the Tuba. Now, number 3, it could not reach majority of Black folks. Hey, Black nationalism has only reached a small portion of the Black folks in America in particular, even in the West Indies and the Caribbean. Only a small portion of Black folks actually support this. If you have only the upper class educated or the gun-ho type Black man and woman in this, and they represent less than 1%, you can't win. This is the failure of what has happened and why the Black man is still confused. I just gave you that. Here you are, this Black man talking good about this about his country. He turns right back around and goes to the Tuba. This is why I said we have the confusion. We have the confusion, and it continues. Black nationalism doesn't uplift us. It continues to what? Confuse us. And we have that today. You sit here and say, man, this Black man, look at what he's doing. He's doing this, and suddenly he gets on in front of all of the white media sources and go back to the same enemy, who's our enemy for 400 or 500 years. It doesn't make sense. Salam alaikum, Mustafa. How you doing, my dear brother? Now, let's look at number 4. It maintained an unhealthy regard for the Tuba. I said that. On one hand, they talk about they don't like him. They talk about how this and that, and yet they go back to him. As I specified, this is the failure what Black nationalism have done to Black folks in the Caribbean and in the Americas. All over, it's the same formula. This has this unhealthy relationship with the Tuba, meaning, again, the same formula as it has been for 400 years. They go to them to ask them to survive. Leave me alone. Don't hurt me. Don't do this. Let me survive. Let me do this. Let me flourish in your land. This is what Black nationalism actually does. And let me express myself. And it's led to the confusion and the detriment to the Black man and his family all through the Americas, everywhere. This is my opinion, and I'm backed up by many facts. I'm not the only one talking this. There's many brothers that say the same thing. I'm not the only one. Now, let's look at number 5. It lacked a plan to galvanize the masses. It used rhetoric to incite, but not empower. Black nationalism is good. How many brothers we have? I remember when I was a boy, a young man, H. Rap Brown. I forgot his name now. I think he came to Islam, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. But we had, why you think we call him H. Rap Brown? Because he was a rapper. He could talk. We have beautiful brothers who can get on any station and rap. But when after you leave, after the thing, we still back in the same situation. You have feel good moments for an hour because the brothers, the oratory geniuses get up there and talk. But the substance and what we can do to help us, we can never win. This is why, again, Black nationalism has failed, caused the confusion in our communities. And this is another reason why. They talk good, but there's no teeth behind what they say because they're powerless to do anything. And they cannot empower us at all. Yes, feel good moments. Always, oh yeah, right on, brother. Yes, right on, brother. And then when he leaves, we still get stopped by the police out here. We're still being shot. We're still being thrown in jail. We're still being targeted. We're still having our children be shot dead. We still have the same problem of the roving, two-bob, racist cop coming through the neighborhood to spray up the place and kill our children and so forth and so on. After this brother's got through talking, You see what I'm talking about? It has not stopped. It's not stopped. Number 6, stress being black and not African. This is the thing that angers me about black nationalists. Black nationalism. Think about this. Now, where's the room for the African in this? There's none. He's saying he's black. So, okay, black nationalism. How can you be a black man and you say nationalism, but yet you diss Africa? It doesn't make sense to me. It never has. And yet this is, again, to a fault that they stress being black and black nationalism, not Africanism, but black nationalism, which is a hybrid culture. It's mixed with many things, which I'll get to. But this is a failure of what has happened because of their leadership to black folks in America. Today, we get 100 black folks. We ask them about their nationality and heritage. You get different answers. What names they coin themselves? You get many different answers. Some still use Negro. Some say colored. Some say Afro-American. Some say African-American. Some say Africans born in America. We have so many definitions. We don't have one. This is a problem. And we still want to call ourselves black. We don't want to call ourselves Ghanaian Americans. We don't want to call ourselves Senegalese Americans. We don't want to say we're full of Americans. We want to say black. This is a problem. And Subhanahu wa ta'ala sees that. And we have a verse in the Quran talks about what Subhanahu wa ta'ala says. He cannot uplift you until you actually start doing things in your own. He cannot give you freedom. He cannot come behind you until you clean up yourself first. And this is a true fact. Now, number 7, it didn't use the examples of other black nationalists like Pop Singleton and others who furthered aspirations. Now, these are some of our ancestral brothers who were black nationalists, yes, and they wanted to have separation. And they wanted to form something like his case in Oklahoma. He wanted to have a homeland, a black homeland, not in Africa, but inside America. And of course, blacks flocked there. And we know what happened. I think 1922. Finally, the Tubac couldn't stand no more, and he killed and he burned out the black Wall Street and the black society, which was flourishing. And we've had this happen many different times, but we still do not have this type of man today who can lead us. We don't have that. We have many rappers. We have many people talking a lot of junk, but none of these people have come up with a plan to uplift. What should we do? We're all the way across the United States. None of them talk about, let's go to the South and let's form something down there. No, they don't talk like this. Pop Singleton, there's George Patmore. There's many of these black nationalists. Now, these ones here, I'm not after them. These are ancestral brothers. They are dead. I will not talk against them. What they try to do was something. They didn't go up there and rap. They actually did something to put the brothers and sisters into the into position to be successful and to have freedom. There's a difference between them and the black nationalists today. They have not advocated anything except rapping, going to the streets and talking, forming groups, getting on TV. That's it. But they have no solution to our problem. How can we be uplifted? How can we be empowered? Where can we get our economic base from? None of that is tackled. This is what I'm talking about here. And it is true. Now, but instead continue new deadly paths which destroyed the movement and made it criminal. Black nationalism put on a genre. It started one way. It's just like the Mujahideen, Fisabilillah, and Islam. What we have today, I mean, the Americans, they have coined terms. I don't use those terms to talk about Muslim brothers, but we have Mujahideen who are strugglers, the resistant fighters and so forth and so on. They've done the same thing. They started out legally. They started out fisabilillah law. They're followed by the Quran, and then they become criminal. This is what happened to many of the black nationalism. They go starting out early, and then they begin to shoot and kill. They begin to do other things to break the law. This is one of the things, and it's a deadly path because the cops now the Tubac cop has the right now to start killing. He don't only kill the black nationalists, he kills others. He used that justification now to run back in the community and spray the place up and start killing everybody. This is what this has done. And this deadly path has been criminalized by them and not orientated towards freedom. That's right. They get to the street to talk about freedom and so forth and so on, and they commit crimes. How can you talk about freedom when you're out there making crimes? And now you angered the Tubab because now you're making crime. You force him to come after you. Not only does he come after you, black nationalists, but he comes after everybody else too in the community. And this hurts us. And so this type of way, as I said before, it is a failure and it continues to fail us. And it leads to the confusion, as I'm talking about now. Now, I know I'm going to get some brothers and probably some sisters. A lot of places may see this or hear this and they're going to talk. That's fine. This is what we need to do. I'm an old man now, okay? And I'm Muslim. I talk to Subhanahu wa ta'ala. I ask for guidance in this. I go by the Muslim way. My ancestors was Muslim, as I talked about before. I have all this heritage, full of Mende. I mean, I'm even Moroccan as well. All of my ancestors are black and they were Muslims. So I use the Muslim guide and I got these type of things here from Subhanahu wa ta'ala because I asked him for guidance. This is what I'm talking about. I look to the past. I look to our ancestors, also Muslim ancestors and other ones who are bright. And I look at their literature and what they said about issues like this. And I formulated. This is what I'm talking about, to try to see what we can do. We have to have brothers and sisters talk against this. Now, someone's going to say, oh, yeah, you are Uncle Tom. Oh, really? Oh, really? You think I'm Uncle Tom because I talk against black nationalism? I'm bringing up the points here. I'm bringing up the points. Let them come and tell me about how they uplifted the black man. They have not. They did it only by rhetoric. I am not Uncle Tom. I'm not a down the river Negro or a handbone. I'm none of that. I'm talking because we need to talk about this issue and it's not guiding us anywhere. And I have, as a Muslim, I must talk the truth, even if it's against myself. This is our way and our ancestral way as well. Now, the confusion of the masses of black folk continues today. Are we confused in America? Are we confused in Jamaica, in Trinidad? We're still confused. We're still turning around. We don't even know which way is north. We don't even know which way is south. We're still confused. And again, not only just black nationalists, we know it's a whole series of things that have led to this confusion. But black leadership has failed us. And this confusion continues today. They have no security apparatus to protect them. We have nothing to protect us today. You say, oh, we have the courts of the United States. We win very few cases inside the United States. Very few cases inside the United States. You look over the years, there have been famous ones, but as a general rule, we just don't win the cases. And we don't have we don't have the sympathy of even the human rights groups as well. So we have no protection. And also this, the programs to uplift through education. We cannot be uplifted through education. We have education, but again, look at our ancestors. I mean, look at our children today. When I'll never forget this. About 10 years ago, remember they did this study and they had black, Hispanic, white children, and they asked them and they showed a map. They asked them to show them Los Angeles, California. They couldn't show them. They even asked them, what is the capital of the United States? They didn't have an answer for it. They showed them a map and said, well, this is Africa. Can you show me where a certain country is? They didn't know. And some even didn't even know where Africa was on the map. This is what's happening to our children. The miseducation is off the charts. My brothers and sisters, it's off the charts. Now, this lack of education to discern our plight is a detriment. It's a detriment, my brothers and sisters. Without the education, I'm not meaning learning to be a Tubab. No, I'm talking about the technological things. I'm talking about reading and writing and being able to discern. We are still behind the 8 ball in that regard. And we should not be there. We have all the means. Yes, we know the Tubab discriminates. Yes, we know what he does to the schools. Yes, we know certain things. But we should be more able now, because we know our plight, we know our enemies standing in front of us, to uplift our children. If I can't read and write very well, why can't I should let my sons and my daughters to be better than me. That's the motto of that our ancestral fathers and mothers in America, they had it. My mom and dad used to talk to me all the time. And, and I remember when I was a punk, I didn't talk back to my parents. I didn't mean that way. But, I thought I was something. And I told my dad one day, I said, you know what? I'm not going to school after this. I'm just going to stay in high school. And after that, I'm finished. My dad slapped me. And he cried. I'll never forget that. And I thought because I was playing football, I was a football star and everything like this, high school and everything, I thought I was something. My dad slapped me. And he said, you will go to college and you will graduate. Because I didn't have that opportunity. He said, I was in schools where we had no wood on the floor. We had dirt. And we had poor classrooms. And we could only go to a certain grade because the 2x wouldn't let us go higher than that. He said, you will go to college. That's what I'm talking about. That's how our ancestral mothers and fathers were like that. They want to make sure we were uplifted. And I did go to college and I did graduate. And thanks to my dad, he's long past now, but he helped me to build my career when he couldn't do it himself because of what happened. This is what I'm talking about. But we're losing that today. We are losing that. The sorrowful state of the Black man and his family continues. Nobody can say we are uplifted. We have problems. That confusion is great, my brothers and sisters. It's great. It's very great. Yeah, my brother Isaac, how you doing, my brother? Salam alaikum. So true. We must do better and work harder. Yes. And my brother Saeed says we've been miseducated. Oh boy, have we been miseducated. You know that beautiful book by our brother Woodson. I can't think of his first name. The Miseducation of Negroes. Everybody should read that book. It's not outdated, my brothers and sisters. He laid it down good. He talked about the same issues I'm talking about now. This is way back in the 30s. He talked about this issue, the 20s and the 30s. Our brother, this again, the Miseducation of the Negro. Everybody should get that book. I read it in college many times. It is a guide, and the same problems he talked about then, we still have now. And you should read this book. It's something. And things that I'm saying now, he was talking about all those decades ago. Now, let's look at something here. What is holding us back? Why the confusion continues among us? Some of this is because we sport great apathy and unwilling to fight their oppressors. This is everywhere in the Western world. We have a lot of Black folk who have apathy. They don't care. As long as they have their TV, they have their victuals on the table and a butter biscuit, they're happy. And they don't care. And they don't care about their plight or the plight of their brothers. This is the thing, and it's killing us because we have too many that have apathy and they don't care. They just don't care. We know slavery has something to do with that. We understand that, but but it's got to come to a point that we have to get away from that. Yes, we know the effects of that, but look, my father didn't allow slavery and what happened to slavery to stop his son from going to school. He urged me to go. I mean, he that day he slapped me in my face and he told me, "You will go to college," and so forth. And he showed, irrespective of what happened to him, that he wanted his son to go higher, to reach much higher. This is what I'm talking about. So now, how about our kids today? A lot of them are in the same boat as we have in yesteryears. They're just not learning. They're just not learning, my brothers and sisters. And we're not taking the effort either. We have apathy. We don't even care. As that test revealed about 10, 11 years ago, many, especially of our African American little brothers and sisters, couldn't even show where Los Angeles was on a map and couldn't even read it. My brothers and sisters, that's sad. They couldn't even pinpoint where it was. They even tried to guide them. They couldn't even pinpoint where California was on a map. This continues. We must stop that. Now, The other part of this, they are still waiting justice and benevolence from their oppressor. You know, this is something that burns me up. And I had a speech here about a couple of weeks back, or about a month ago. I was back on some issues again like this. And I said something about, why are you there? I asked the black man and the woman in America, why are you there? Because why? You're still waiting for justice and benevolence. It's 500 years, every generation. How many times I've said it? I've said it many times, what they've done to my forefathers. I made it a point to talk about that because they have not stopped, and it's to continue. They're more slick now. They have more ways to do things now. They hide and smile in your face, and they have programs behind the door to get you. And so we're still waiting for justice. We're still talking about we're overcome. We're still hitting the streets talking and waiting for the benevolent white man, Abraham Lincoln, to come to free us and give us more victuals on the table and two butter biscuits instead of one. This is what we're still waiting for. We're still waiting for him to give us a car and a house. It's not going to happen. And because of that, it leads still to the confusion that we have. We sit here, wait, we don't think. We're waiting for this benevolent white man. He's not coming. I'm sorry, my brother and sister, he is not coming. Now, most black folks still preach their new generations this crooked program. They always tell our children, hey, you know what? Hey, guess what? We're going to have somebody, he's going to come. He's going to be a white man, and he's going to take the chains off you, and he will give you a good job and a house and a car. And you'll have all the victuals and butter biscuit on your table every day. We have parents, and even in my generation, still talking this trash. It's not going to happen. You should not tell the children. You said you got to tell them, look, you are black. They're going to hunt you down, and they're going to kill you. They're going to discriminate against you in college. They're going to do other things. They're going to stop you from getting jobs. You have to educate your children in that regard, because when they get hit with it, they're ready for it and they know how to fight it. But most of them don't know how to fight it because the parents don't really talk until they get shot and killed and so forth. But we're starting to see this where we have to talk. So I'm not going to say it's all bleak, but we are talking because we have media now. We see our brothers and sisters being murdered on the streets. We are talking, but it's not good enough, our brothers and sisters. Okay, here's the other part of the confusion again. They continue to improvise upon a hybrid culture. They keep tweaking it here. They keep tweaking it there. They keep going here and they go on here to try to bring a culture when they are black folks, they are Africans, and yet they are trying to promote a hybrid culture as though they're not Africans. And this is, it can't be done, my brothers and sisters. You are African. Even though you have lived there, even though your ancestors are there, you still don't speak their language, as I said, as well as they do. Their food is still killing you, and it's killing your children as well. So, hey, you know, this is a fact. The hybrid culture is not going anywhere. Again, the black nationalism is hybrid. It's pushing for something inside the United States that's not going to come. Now, and let's go back into this. And it doesn't recognize sizable African contributions to it. Now, you know what? That's true. How many of our brothers and sisters talk about the African culture and what it can do? Very few. They'll talk about the French culture. They'll even talk about the Russians and the British. They even talk about the Canadians. But when you start talking about something about Africa, they don't want to hear it. And when you want to start talking about the great ancestors and the great civilizations and cultures that we have there, over here in Africa, they turn their head, oh man, you know, yeah, that was a long time ago, man. You know, I'm African American. This is what you hear now. Again, this is the confusion of our black folks in the West. And they don't want to hear about this contribution from Africa. They want something else. They want it. I'll give you an example. You look at a movie where it promotes African culture, and then they'll have some tube-out movie where there's a lot of sexual content. There's a lot of stuff in it. They'll leave the TV set to go look at something like this. You understand what I'm talking about? Again, improvising on a hybrid culture that it does not work. You keep tweaking it here. You keep moving it here. You keep going over here. And it's still, you cannot get it together. And it's ruining us. Now, here's one for the confusion. And this is a deadly one. And you think about this, my brothers and sisters. Mistrust and distrust. Misinformation, disinformation perpetrated by Black folks upon one another. If this is Islamic course, I would say something in Arabic to emphasize this, but I can't because it's not about Islam tonight. Again, hear me good, my brothers and sisters. Mistrust and distrust, misinformation, disinformation perpetrated by Black folk upon one another, supported by the Tuba power structure. Nobody can tell me this is way out. This is Uncle Tomism. This is House Negroism. No, it is not. This is true. The mistrust and distrust of between us is great. The misinformation, disinformation that we spread against one another is great. The lack of trust has caused a division, and the Tuba sits there and supports it, and he encourages it. He even pays money to get it going and to keep it going. This leads to confusion, my brothers and sisters, and we have to admit the fact. We must admit this fact. We have a lot of misinformation, disinformation against other Black folk and perpetrated by white folks, but we have Black people who spread this, and this is a fact, and this hurts us. Now, one of the other reasons why we are down in this issue, my brothers and sisters, is Black nationalism is still manifest by upper class and educated Black folks. We still have this problem where we have even Pan-Africanism, and we have brothers, Black nationalists. We have a lot of these brothers are highly educated. I mean, these brothers are professors. They are learned men, but we have only a few of them. The general masses of our people are not as educated. And this has caused a problem because they don't understand Black nationalism, and because why? They are so concerned about how they put food on the table, how they just got fired from a job. They're not gonna be thinking about Black nationalism when you have children waiting for you to feed them food when you don't have a job. This is what I'm talking about. So we have this disconnect. We have brilliant, beautiful brothers and sisters. I mean, highly educated, brilliant, and they talk Black nationalism very well, but the masses are disconnected from them. This is a problem, and it still leads to confusion. The lower class educated Black folk are more concerned about their livelihood than the United Black Front in America. This is true. This is by design, my brothers and sisters. When you take the man's job from him, you take his manlyhood from him. You put him in jail. You go after him. He's first hired, and he's last hired and first fired. He's not going to be thinking about any unity among Black folk. He's going to be worried about how he can put money in his pocket, how he can feed his family. This leads to confusion. And when Black people start talking, and educated ones start talking about Black nationalism and bringing the brothers together, he said, hey, man, I don't have time for this. I don't know how I'm going to eat and how I'm going to feed my family tomorrow. This is a problem. Okay, this divide is instrumental in the ineptness of Black nationalism movements in America. Yes, it is inept. The Black nationalism is inept. I will say it 1,000 times. It's inept, and we have supported historical documents on this. It is inept. It cannot survive, and it's not doing anything for us. Yes, again, the feel-good movements are very good. We see the brother, we go to laughing, we pop some popcorn and a soda, and we sit here and listen to brother rap. It's good, but then we still have the same problems as I specified earlier. Now, they say that they are not African nor identify with it. This is the confusion again of our Black folks. They say that they're Black, they're not African. They say, I have nothing to do with Africa. That was a long time ago. That was our ancestors. I'm Black. I have nothing to do with that. but it leads to the confusion to their identity. They say they are not a Tubab, and yet they continue to perpetrate their names and culture as their own. You see the confusion of our people? They say they're not African. They don't identify with that. They push aside. They don't. When you're talking about the melanated skin, they forgot about that. Where did it come from? It didn't come from the Tubab. It came from our African ancestors. So they say they don't identify with that. And then you turn and you go to them and you say to them, "Hey man, what about the white boy, the white man, and all the other names we call him there in the United States, the Tubab in my language, the Tubab. Oh, I have nothing to do with him. Oh, really? Yet when your baby is born, you name him George after that son of a bitch. Excuse my French, but I have to say it like that. You go name your son after that son of a bitch. You gave him George. You see the confusion? And then the culture as your own. You take his culture and then you try to make it black into your culture. So there's a confusion. You say you're not African. You say you're not Tubab, and yet you use the names of the Tubab for your children, and you use his culture as your own. Confusion, my brothers and sisters. And there'll be people who fight me on this. That's fine. We need the debate. I'm talking facts today. I'm giving people something to think about because I want you to be angry with me, but because I want you to think. I want you to say, yes, this may be true here. And I want you to think about your position there and ask the same question. This one is a big one. We still do this. We still say we're not, I have nothing to do with the Tubab. Oh, I'm shoot, man. I don't like the Tubab. And then you get a call and here your wife just had a baby and you run to the hospital and you name him George. You name him Robert. You name him some other Christian, European, Irish, and British names. Wait a minute. Whoa, you said you had nothing to do with the Tubab, but then why you name your children after him? This is the confusion, my brothers and sisters. This is the confusion that continues today. And we also name our children names that don't make sense. They're not African vernaculars. They're not Russian. They're not European. We name them Pookie and all kind of weird names. It leads to the confusion. The child future goes by the name. This is our culture, the African culture. Why do you think our ancestors in Africa gave us beautiful names? Because they wanted us to follow in the footsteps of that name. When you name your child Pookie and some other these crazy names that the brothers and sisters are doing over there, the child doesn't even know. I walk up to him as a black man and I go to this child and say, hey, young man, what is Pookie? I said, what does it mean? Where did it come from? They don't know. You see the confusion? This is a problem. We have to stop that. We got to stop that. I'm talking harsh, but I'm talking right. I'm an old man. I'm an elder now. And I'm talking to the younger generation because I saw this. I lived it. 50 years there. And now I'm talking because I want us to think about this and to get away from that. None of us today should be naming our children after this man. We should not. We should not. This is one of the uplifting parts of our children is by giving them those beautiful African names. It starts now to get the culture back. As I told you, every one of my child, even way back, I named my children African names. Even back then when people told me don't do it, I didn't care. I did it because I wanted to instill that in them. Now, adopting the concept from the Tubab, that Black folk advocating Africa, its liberation and separation from the vestiges of the Tubab marauding is criminal and sheer militancy. How many we hear are Black folks today, when you hear talking about brothers talking about Africa, they call them militants. They call them other names and stuff like this because they adopted, again, the Tubab's genre. Adopting the concept from the Tubab that Black folk advocating Africa, its liberation and separation from the vestiges of the Tubab marauding is criminal and sheer militancy. This is what our people say about people like me. You decide to leave Africa or leave America to go to Africa, they say it's militancy. Our own people say this. Our own people say this. And they go and echo what the Tubab has told them. And they go by what the Tubab said and say this is militancy. When I go and talk about Africa, talk about our ancestors, they say, man, this guy's, he's way out of it. This confusion continues, my brothers and sisters, and I'm giving you these facts. I want you guys to discuss this. If you want to send me letters in disagreement, you give me your facts, not emotion. I don't want to hear nothing from the sisters talking crazy to me. No, I won't entertain that. Or the brothers as well. You bring me some facts to back up your argument. I have no problem with that. I listened to many things that said, even I disagree, but they brought their facts what they thought it was. I want you to do that. If you disagree with me, you say, hey, man, I think you're Uncle Tom. You give me the facts and show me that I'm Uncle Tom. If you say I'm a down the river Negro, you give me the facts. You write me and you give me the facts. We debate that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's maybe your opinion. But then I'll ask you questions too. When you say I'm a down the river Negro, I'm going to ask you, what did you name your children? And we'll look at it that way. And when the sister come to me or the brother, and I say, yeah, how many kids you got? 5. What did you name your kids? Well, George, or after the father, or Robert, Oh, whoa. So I'm Uncle Tom, but you named your children after the two Bob. You see, I'm ready for it. Our miseducation, as our brother Saeed talked about, has led to something all of us has been caught up in at one time or another, even me when I was in the United States, way before this. The confusion of liberation in the mind of Black folks led to sexual misadventurism. Nobody can told me now that this is not true. Our Black men sought power, sought recognition from what they had between their legs, not what they had here, but what they had in between their legs. And this caused a big problem. It caused a new system of slavery on us, because when our sister, who we ravished, not literally ravished, but we had sexual relations with, had a child, then they go to the court system and they created a new slavery system that keeps you indebted to the court for most of your life because of sexual misadventurism. And this is something because of the psychological profile of our confusion. We sought power. We sought recognition through sexual conquest, not through education. This is something, again, for the confusion of the Black folks and why we do this. So, my brothers and sisters, I look at this and I go through these things. I ask Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, I pray, I ask Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, give me guidance. What can I say that would uplift our brothers and sisters? And yes, get them mad at me too. That's fine. But give me something, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, where I can give them hard facts so they can look at themselves. Yes, they may be angry with me, but they may go back 10 minutes and say, check, yeah, he's correct. And this is what this is for, because I want the uplifting of our people. Why? I'm prejudiced. Yes. I have a motive. Oh, yes. It's not money. I want to see the mass exodus of our people here to the continent. Yes, I admit it. Yes, I admit it. I'm guilty. I want to see mass exodus of our people leaving LA and other places to Africa and leave that place. Yes, I advocate. Did you hear me straight out? No, I'm not advocating this and that. Now, I preface this as I've always said. We have brothers and sisters who can't leave. Then I said before, carve out the southern states and make it a new Africa. I've said that, and everybody knows that. Everybody heard me say this many times. You can't come here. You carve out those states down in Georgia, Mississippi, Arkansas, and so forth and so on, and South Carolina, and you make them your own. I've advocated that. So I've said these things, and I'm hoping, again, you think. Let me see what they have to say here. George Foreman named all his sons George. Yeah, my brother said I made a good point. Salam alaikum, my dear sister Leslie Smith. Thank you, okay, listen to the truth. Said the sales from yes, my dear sister, you got it right. Yes, this is something we have to speak the truth, because we are in a dire strait. We cannot talk nice anymore. We have to talk against ourselves. And the Muslims, we believe this, that we stress this. We must talk the truth, even as against ourselves. I'm guilty of some of these things in my past. Yes. And I must admit, okay, we must talk the truth in order to us to heal and to move forward. And again, as I said, yes, I'm prejudiced. Yes, I'm prejudiced because I want Africa. I want Africa uplifted. I want my brothers and sisters coming here because this is where you belong now. It's a sinking ship there. You're going to die with it. And you're dying now. Fires, flooding, pestilence, marauding, racism. How much more can you take? Yes, I want you to come here because when you come here, it's going to make a difference. Now, I'm going to touch on a subject here that's going to hurt some people and make people upset. Confused Black folk turned the natural order of things between men and women wrongly. Y'all hear what you're talking about? I'm going to show you something. I'm going to give you what I mean by this. The Black society has been made overly matriarchal, meaning the women are controlling it and dominant. And making the patriarch ways and means subservient to this Black matriarchal system, where we have the sisters controlling. This has developed into things why they have attitudes. Okay? Now, this perversion has caused the destruction of the Black family. When the woman takes over the culture, we're not talking about in the right proper because we're supposed to be partners. But when the woman is up here, Subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't ordain that. There's no religion. I don't care. It's Hebrew. I don't care if it's Judaism, Islam, or even Orthodox Christianity is true. They did not preach this. Subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the man the strength and the knowledge to lead his people. And the woman is there as a supporter, but she's also an integral part because without her, the society is gone. But when you put her way at the top here, the balance then goes by. Nature is now destroyed. Okay, nature is destroyed. And that thing causes problems. And this is what has happened to us. We have this. And the perversion destroyed the Black family. It's true. And destroyed the Black man. In retaliation, because of that, the Black man said, okay, the sisters running things, they curse me out, they talk to me this and that, so I'll use what I have between my legs against them. And we've done that. And what has happened? We've created these children without our presence because the courts throw us out and so forth and so on. You know what I mean? You see what I'm talking about? This perversion has caused a destruction because the brothers got upset. They are no longer control of them. They can't control their houses anymore. They can't control anything else. And a lot of this because it's our fault. And when the sisters now have risen up here to take over the reins, it's caused the destruction of our families. This is true. Now, you say, what proof do you have? I'm going to give you something that's very interesting. I want you to think about. Here's what I've said here. No other race of people in America landscape sports a matriarchal society fully dominant over their menfolk. The white man is not matriarchal. The Mexican man is not matriarchal. This is not. The Japanese man is not. The Cubano, the Puerto Rican, the Dominican, the Bolivian, their societies is not matriarchal. Only one is ours. You think about that, my brothers and sisters. That's the proof. If it was supposed to be wise and supposed to be done, all these societies I mentioned and all the hundreds more would be all matriarchal. You see what I'm talking about? There's a natural order of things, and those natural order of things has been disturbed among us. This is why we have the problems. And when you have a sister who has to be a man and man and woman of the house, because the Black man is not there, this causes perversion, and we know that many sisters are talking about our sisters who are really honest. They will say, "Look, I've heard this, and I can't think of my beautiful sister. What's her name? She talked about it on one show about a year ago. She talked about this issue. She said, we as Black women, we don't know how to turn it off. Why? Because they've had to put on the shoes of the man in order to make things go. And they don't know how to turn it off. They've lost some of the femininity. You see what I mean? And many of our sisters are admitting of this. A lot of them are not. And so we have this perversion. And again, I lay out the evidence. White society is not. Okay, the Tubab society, it's not matriarchal. The white woman is not running their race. No others except us in America. Okay, in America, we're not. We're the only ones that have a matriarchal society. And look where we at. You see what I mean? The confusion and the fallout from this, from this hierarchy where we got the sisters up here and we got the brothers down here, is led to the being our men to be effeminate, weakened fathers and brothers. Who could say otherwise? What do we see on TV today? We see brothers with earrings. We see brothers who even got their hair trimmed like the woman now. We see them even walking like the woman now. We even see them adopting some of the clothes of our sisters. We see them even getting their perfume and putting it on their body like our sisters do. This is because of the perversion of what has happened to us has led to this fact. You see brothers on TV now, and it is carried over into the movies. How many black movies can we watch today? I'm talking about the modern times now where they don't have homosexuality and we have brothers involved in this. It's been promoted because of the upside down nature of our culture. This is what's led to this. And it's sickening. When you see these brothers on TV, they act like women. You know, you see them and their hair, they're acting, even moving like a woman. This is because the black man has been put in a position of down in the dirt, and we have our sisters up here. There is I'm not talking bad about our sisters because someone had to take charge. It's not her job to take charge of our race. It is not. She's supposed to cultivate our race. She's supposed to also educate, because without her and education of our children, we're nothing. But what we've done now is we put her in a bad position. We made her now the breadwinner. We made her the man of the house. And that's not her nature. And it's caused problems. It's caused problems even in her psyche, to the point to where she looks at another black man and she has disgust for them, because she knows, she said, look, I go to see Yahya. He wants to marry me. I know it's going to happen. I'm going to have to do this inside the house. I'm going to have to work. I'm going to have to do that. He's not going to take care. And this is the philosophy. And sometimes it works in the wrong, where maybe this Yahya, he is a good brother, but because of what has happened, they have this distrust and mistrust of us. My brothers and sisters, this is a big, big problem today. Big, big problem. And we have to solve it, or this confusion with the black man and his family will continue, and our detriment will go down. And the natural order of things is supposed to be the man is supposed to be the protector of his family. This is what Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has ordained in Judaism, in Christianity, and in Islam. This is true, that he's ordained for this, but he must earn this. He must earn it before Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, or Jehovah, any name you want to call Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. You must earn it as a man, and you must show him that you are willing to do what he's ordained. Unfortunately for us, we have not been able to do that. And our sisters they've taken a beating. She's the most hated woman. She's the most despised woman. They call her monkey. They said that she's not even feminine. Some even question that they may even sport a man's genitals there between their legs now. I mean, you hear everything when they talk about black women. See, because of the unnatural perversion state that we put her in. I want you guys to think about what I just said here. You disagree, write me, but give me some facts. But I'm talking here from experience, many years of experience. I see it. I'm out of there now. And you know how it is when you're close to something inside you can't see? I stepped away and I went to a mountain to look down, and I see clearly. And I asked Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to give me guidance. And this is some of the stuff that I come up with I'm talking to you now. Now, I'm a finish one more thing, and I'm gonna stop here because I don't want to be too long, because this is a work day, and I probably got people very angry with me, but I'm not. That's not my design. But I have to talk the truth. I'm Muslim. Even I talked against myself today, and we must talk the truth even against ourselves. So I did this to show us we have our faults, and we have to correct that. Assalamu alaikum, my brother Muhammad. Now, the last thing, and I'll close on this. The confusion has led Black folk to accept the plight of America, and they rather die in sync with it than seek empowerment in Africa. Brothers and sisters, you think about that. America is a sinking ship, and yet we're still on that boat holding on to the tuba, waiting for him to clean it up. He can't. It's sinking, and we're still trying to hold on to him when we have an opportunity here in Africa. Now, you say, yeah, it's not right. Well, let me give you a fact, my dear brother who says this. Why is the tuba running here to Africa? The tuba in America, Canada, Australia, Western and Eastern Europe, they're running here to Africa. Why? How about the Asians? They're doing the same thing. Yes, they're doing the same thing. Even the South American countries are starting to come here as well. Look at the Jews. They're trying to get their piece of the pie of Africa. And we are the ones who should see this, and we say we don't want no part of it. We rather sink with the ship in America when the Americans are coming over here for a reason. You see what I'm talking about? The confusion of the mind. They see something that you there in America are not seeing. The Chinese sees it too. The Russians see it. That's why they flock in here. The Jews even. Look, is the Jewish state even asked the AU to become an honorary member, and it was accepted, which I was against it. Why? Because they know what's here in Africa. They want a part of it. But our African American, our Africans born in America don't want no part of it. That's confusion. That's confusion, my brothers and sisters. And I mean, I'm laying these facts out, and it's hurting, it's hurtful, it even hurts me. But I have to talk because, as I said last week, this is my continent. This is the land of my forefathers. This is our natural home, and this is where you belong. Many of you, some of us can't leave the United States. I understand that, but those people are running here for a reason. You are the ones who can empower this country. The tuba can't empower it. It's going to steal from it. The Chinese is not going to empower our Black brothers here, and they're not going to help us in our culture and our livelihood. They're going to take from it. The Jews the same way. The Asians are the same way. They're going to come here and take and move on. That's how they're going to do. You, on the other hand, you have a beautiful stake here because your ancestors came from here, and you can empower us because you're not here to take. You're here to empower. That's the difference. You see you understand my logic, my brothers and sisters? The non-Africans are coming here not to empower us. They want to take from us. But the brothers and sisters are now coming from the United States, from Jamaica, from Trinidad. They come here to empower the country. This is the right mentality. This is the right mentality. So I hope that you get what I'm saying, my brothers and sisters. And there's quite a bit. I didn't get to the rise of the nationalism, and with permission of Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and maybe some of you that you may write me to if you think I should continue. I think I will. I'm gonna ask permission from Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. I will probably make this another day, maybe Sunday. I should finish this up because why it's important, my brothers and sisters, that I talk this and bring this out because I'm bringing these facts here, and I still got quite a bit because we have not talked about the rise of the Pan-Africanism. The new Pan-Africanism is quite different than the old. I have not talked about that so far, but I gave you the confusion of our Black folks, and so that's something to think about. I know I got people angry with me, but I want you to consider what I'm saying only. And if you disagree, please get a hold of me and give me your facts. I'm listening to everybody's comments. Anybody has comments, you can write also on the thing, here, no problem, and tell me what you think. And so let me see here, my brother Saeed. We call her what the tuba calls her. Yes, this needs to stop. We need to change our mindset. Our brother Saeed's talking good. It's right. He understands. He left the hellhole in the United States, and he made his migration to Africa. And he can see now. He see things that he couldn't see there. Now he's starting to see things because he's here in the continent. And when you come in the continent, what happens? You take in the African sun. You take in the African weather. You take in the African land and the food in it. Your mindset begins to change. your eyesight clears up. You can start seeing things that you did there that you could not see. My brother can probably testify to that. That suddenly when you come here, your mindset changes. Because why? You're in your natural homeland. You take in the sun, you take in the air, you take in the land, you take in the water, you take in the food, and then suddenly you change and you see things that you didn't see before. This is what I'm saying now. And so, my brother here, let me see who else. My brother, my sister here, Leslie Smith. Yeah, thank you, my dear sister. Let me see who else we have. We got some other people here as well. Let's see, we got. I'm just looking at some things. Yes, my brother again, Saeed, talking about it's killing the plantation life has killed us, and it continues to kill us. I mean, it's relentless. It's not getting any better. It's getting any worse. The stranglehold on our necks from the plantation system is really killing us off. And they have gotten so many methods to kill us now, and it's a shame. And he's also our brother Said talking about New Africa. We can learn Swahili. This is true. We talked about this, and we've been talking about this. You can see on YouTube now. Our brothers and sisters are outside are supposed to adopt Swahili. This is a beautiful step. And our sister from ADI, she coined this and she advocated this, and I agree with her that the brothers and sisters outside of Africa should adopt this. Inside Africa, we are starting to adopt it. I think South Africa, and I think also Rwanda has also picked it up. So we're starting to use this as a lingua franca among ourselves, and it's a good point to bring again the new Africa, the Pan-African, the new Pan-Africanism, where we now have language behind us. We have our own language behind us. And our brother Isaac said, I'm in Babylon and ready to leave this wicked land. Yes, my brothers and sisters, one thing I'll give you advice. If you want to leave it, be quiet about it. Plot, save your money, learn, and just go about your business, because there's the Tubab he's watching. They're watching. They're seeing this exodus. They see programs like this too and other programs, and they don't like it. And they don't want to see you leave, because they want you to stay in their confusion, and they want to be able to keep you under wraps because they want to control you. So if you want to go and you're thinking about it, you make your strategy. You go to your wife, you go or whatever, and you say, look, let's keep this quiet. Let's get a 5-year plan, and let's work. We save money. We do this. We have brothers and sisters. You see them on YouTube talk like this. They kept quiet and they saved money. They did this. They did that. When it's time to leave, they were gone. They went to Ghana. They went to Rwanda. They came to Gambia. They went to some other places. They went to Senegal. See, some went to Kenya. Some went to Tanzania. This is the right pattern to do. Keep quiet. Don't talk to a lot of people, because you don't know who's out there who may turn you in. See, so just keep that quiet. Okay. Yes, my sister said earlier, Leslie Smith, the caste system is still being used against us. Yes, my dear sister, you're right. The caste system is still being used against us. We're the lowest ones on the totem pole. We're still down below, and that system is not going to get any better. There will be no benevolent white man that's going to help us. It's over. It's not going to happen. Everybody thought it's going to be Biden. You see what Biden's done? Huh? You see what he's done? Yeah, he's given us a few little vittles here and there, but we still have the same problems. Those problems, the same justice system. We still have the same marauding, racist cops who gunning down on people. I just saw a thing the other day where some guy was shot in the back. I mean, this thing continues and continues. I just saw an article from, I think, LA Times. I picked it up in Google, where they made a study and showed that the LA sheriffs were stopping, again, Black people. How many decades this been going on? Black people over small stuff. It's still continuing. So we have to, it's not going to get better. It's getting worse, because as the devil makes his move to strengthen his position, because why? You say why? Because the Antichrist, as it's known in Christianity and Judaism, and we know him as the Dajjal, his arrival's coming. And so these people who are pushing all this evilness are part of this scheme, and they're trying to prepare the land for the arrival of the Dajjal, the killer of mankind. They're preparing that. That's why you have all this craziness, all this killing and stuff like that. So be mindful of that, my brothers and sisters. And I talked a little long today, and I will finish this up here in another day with permission of Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And I will talk about the new rise of Pan-Africanism. So thank you, my brothers and sisters, for showing up, those in chat room as well. And I have to, I'm a kind of a person. I like to talk the truth, even against myself, because this is Islamic, as I've said over and over again. But I give you some facts today because we don't talk about things like this. We're sugarcoating too much, and we should not be sugarcoating because we have a problem. We should talk about it. And we as Black people, we are recipients of this, and we are keeping quiet about this. We need to talk about it. We need to air it, and then we need to clean and purify ourselves and get away from this. And so I laid it out. And so we those who want to discuss this and so forth, please feel free to contact me, because I'm available and whatnot. But you do your part, my brothers and sisters. Please do your part in this to uplift and to get salam alaikum, my brother Talib, and to uplift our Black people, our Black race, and to make it a better place for us. And I must say it here, and I'll close. It can't be in the United States. It's under a divine decree. Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is angry because the Tubab has led a bloody campaign for almost 500 years. He's killed and he's marauded. He's taken over countries. He's stolen resources. It's under a divine decree. And from Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, even the Christian pastors are saying this. We have Jewish rabbis are saying this. We have Muslim scholars and men of knowledge are saying the same thing. America is under the punishment of Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And you be careful of this, especially those Muslims who live in there. Be very careful, because you know what it says in the hadith of our Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam. He said that when he goes after a society of people, the good people in it, if they die in the calamities that he set forth against them, he will examine their heart to see their niyyah. This is something, I'm only talking a little bit Islamic. Please forgive me, my brothers and sisters and non-Muslims. Muslims, I just want them to be reminded of this. The punishment of Subhanahu wa Ta'ala on the United States, we have 9 or 10 million Muslims there in it, if I'm not mistaken. If they die in these calamities that he's setting forth, their heart will be examined to find out their niyyah. Meaning, were they advocating the Sharia, Islamiyah? If they were advocating the Sunnah, the way of our Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, they will see how you Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will see how you acted, because the angels will have their books to see how you acted, if you were actually Islamic or not. This is what happens when you're in an area where there's a punishment and you go down and you get hit by a fire, or a building crushes you or something, or you get shot in some melee or something. Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, he put a punishment. He will say, okay, Yahya, you're dead. You died there. Now he's going to examine my heart to see my niyyah. And here's one thing, and I'll stop with this. You Muslims, you be worried of this. Remember the verse in the Quran, Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says about the persecution. The angels will ask you a question. If you are persecuted in America, isn't the world big enough for you to go and escape that? My brothers and sisters who are Muslims, be very careful of that if you want to die in that place. Because if you suffered persecution, you're going to go to the fire because of this one question that the angels will ask you. You were suffering persecution. Didn't Subhanahu wa Ta'ala make the earth big enough for you to leave it? Be careful and be mindful of that, my brothers and sisters. Okay? As Muslims, be very careful of that. You don't want to get caught in a situation here, because when you're questioned in the grave, the angels ask you, when you start talking about you were persecuted in LA, they were shooting at you, they were doing this, and they're going to ask you why you didn't leave. Unless you have an able excuse that is verified, you're in trouble. You should look up this verse. I won't give it here, but it's Islamic. I don't want to get too much into it, but you look up the verse, and this is for the Muslims. So all I'm saying, my brothers and sisters, be careful. But there's also something in the Hebrew text as well about some issue of this. My Hebrew brothers and sisters, because I studied the Torah, there's something else about this issue as well, because we're very close in a lot of regard, especially in our Shariahs. We very close with the Hebrew and the Muslims. And there's something about that as well, about your persecution, what you're supposed to do about that if you're being persecuted and you die in the state of persecution. Be very mindful of that. Okay, my brothers and sisters, thank you. Thank you very much for showing up, and those that will in the future. And I will continue this, inshallah ta'ala, bi'ifnillah ta'ala, with his permission. And I thank you. And thank you, my brothers and sisters who showed up today in the chat room, and those who are looking, and those in the future. And thank you very much, my brothers and sisters. Like I said, because we're here, all of us are students, and we of knowledge. We want to learn, and we all have the right mind. We want to see the betterment of our people, the African people, because if we don't look out for ourselves, nobody else. The Russians will not look out for us. The Americans won't either. The British won't either. The Canadians or the Australians as well. Nobody look out for us. We have to look out for our own. So I leave you with that, my brothers and sisters, and I'll also leave you with the beautiful words from this beautiful African dialect they call Arabic. Salamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.